Whether you're an existing business or looking to start a new one, a website is pretty bloody important in 2025. But not just any website. A website which doesn't convert visitors into customers is kind of worthless. Very small changes can be the difference between a website turning 1 in 100 visitors into customers and a website turning 1 in 10 visitors into customers. I worked with e-commerce brands where just a few small changes to the website and layout were able to double sales. So yeah, websites can be pretty goddamn powerful, and that's what we're gonna be talking about in this video. We're gonna cover why your website isn't getting sales and how to fix it. And we're gonna jump right into it by asking a very simple question. What makes a website sell anything? Anything at all? What convinces a total stranger to you, your brand, and your product to reach into their virtual wallet and give you money? How you answer this question is the difference between you winning in the long term and having a sustainable e-commerce business, or you lagging behind your competition, as e-commerce moves pretty goddamn fast. So we're gonna answer that very simple question by going through this document I made about the art of making websites that sell. And we're gonna cover it point by point with everything you need to know. This is the exact same playbook I use for e-commerce sites that generate millions in revenue by implementing these kind of strategies and tips covered in here. So the most basic question is what are the physics behind someone buying something on a website? And it's a very simple answer. A user, so anyone on the internet, sees a link. This could be an ad, a search term, a social media post, anything like that. And they click on that link. And from that link, they land on a page which is trying to sell them something. That's the physics behind how a website sells anything. But obviously there's more to do here. And there's an equation that determines how many users will go on your website and actually end up buying the product. And this is the equation. This is critical, and it's the foundation of anything to do with optimizing for conversions. The user has questions and concerns, and when they're on the website, the job of the website is to answer as many of those questions as efficiently as possible. And if the website does answer enough of the user's questions really efficiently and fast enough that they don't click off, the user will go through and buy or get a quote. The user will have questions like, does this solve my problem? How does it solve my problem? What's the price? And if it doesn't solve my problem, is there anything else on this website that does? And can I find it really quickly? And where do you answer these questions? Well, on the About Us section, in your navigation to make it easy to access the different links and product pages you have, in the product copy, and in the checkout. All these pages are answering questions. The checkout is answering how fast the shipping is, what's the price, what's the total price after tax, everything like that. Navigation helps you find products. Product copy explains details about the products and how it's going to help the user. And if you've done it all right, the person will buy. And if you've noticed, the critical element in all of this is the user. They are the be all and end all in this formula. And there's various questions you have to ask yourself about the user. What are they looking for? What are their questions? You know, these questions we already covered. Are they considering or seeing competitor offers? Now, this is pretty critical because this will change their questions, because now they'll have questions of how do you compare with the competition, that sort of stuff. Is it easy to find what they're looking for? So oftentimes with an e-commerce website, it's not your homepage or product copy that's like super critical. A lot of the time, the number one thing that putting effort and time into will give the highest return on investment is the navigation. The navigation should be so easy and so quick to find what you're looking for, so you can bounce from product to product, seeing what suits you. And they have various other questions. So depending on your users and how you answer these questions, you're gonna have wildly different answers. And what should happen is you're gonna have a different design. So your users will inform your design. So here we have 3 websites with the exact same function. So all of them have the exact same function of selling products to end consumers and professionals on the internet. They're gonna have the same demographics as well. They're gonna have tradespeople, they're gonna have homeowners looking for stuff, looking for filters, tapes, or paints, all that sort of stuff. But even though their function is the exact same, their designs are completely different. And we're gonna focus in on the differences and how just like a generic e-commerce store isn't good enough for most companies. So let's go into the details of how they're different from each other by looking at the category pages. So you can see the water filter store, people are searching by SKU or compatible model number. So the most efficient way to convey that information and answer all the users' question is actually to this table type of arrangement. And that is the most efficient way to do that. And it's very, very clever. Then we have the DIY store where people are searching by price or property. And this is the most efficient way to do that, which is this filter thing, and then obviously like big bulky categories at the top, that sort of stuff. This is more closer to your kind of generic e-commerce store. And now we have the niche building store. So this is very subtle, but it's very, very important. So the tapes being sold by the store are specialist like niche tapes that are kind of complicated and where you use them for. that sort of stuff. So what they have is effectively a standard category page, but with extra effort put into categorizing and explaining the purpose and function of specialized products. So you see you have the explainer at the top of what their tapes are actually used for, so people know what they're navigating on the site. So they have the top level category of tape, and that's very generic, but you see on the left, they have it categorized by use case. And that is just so much easier for users to go around and find what they're looking for. Because a shop like this with the very niche building products is going to have a very difficult time educating their users on what they actually need. Because even you yourself as a layman are looking at these and are like, what possibly could be a difference between these tapes and what they use them for? That's why this is laid out like this. It's very subtle, it's very clever, and it saves them a lot of time and generates them a lot more sales by just categorizing it and putting extra time into it and making it like this. So what you've learned is that users are complicated, but if you can understand them, you can generate some serious sales. Now, obviously, life isn't as simple as just having one kind of target demo. You're going to have many target demos, and you're going to have to appeal them in different ways to maximize your conversion rate. So I'm going to do a quick example of a bottle shop. It's as simple as it's going to get, selling bottles on the internet. Okay, there's nothing more simpler than that. We're going to run through it really quickly. We're going to go through a realistic example how you can maximize for conversions on your website. The college students who buy trendy bottles like the Stanley Cup. We have the hardworking dad who's looking for a bottle that'll last a decade and can thump around in the workshop. We have the busy mom who needs a bottle that they cannot spill their coffee on. And then we have a gift shopper who's buying bottles for the other three types of demographics. So I think I'm going to actually turn off my camera as it's covering too much of the screen, but I should be fine. So for each of these demographics that you have, you're probably also acquiring them in a different way. Your college student users are coming from organic social. You're making social content about water bottles, and that's where they're finding you. The hardworking dad demo is finding you through organic search. You just happen to rank really well for durable bottles and a type of keywords that they're looking up. The busy mom is finding you through paid search. So these are Google ads and Bing ads. Reusable coffee cups are brand new products for you, so you don't rank well on them and are running ads instead to boost sales. And then the gift shopper, who's probably one of your more higher value demographics, they're acquired through paid social because you run ads during the holidays to get these gift shoppers buying some goddamn bottles. And the numbers can vary wildly. So here we have a sample size of 1,000 visits from each demo. So your site gets a total of 4,000 visits. Now, obviously in the real world scenario, you'll have one or two channels be like 80% of your traffic. So the college student, their conversion rate is pretty low at 0.5, okay? They're not doing that well. Organic social is a very low form of engagement. It's not very likely to result in a sale. So we're gonna have to put some work into boosting those numbers. Our conversion rate on the hardworking dad is pretty good. They're acquired through organic social, so it's not an ad anything. It's not an ad or anything. It goes straight to the product page. Very nice. So they convert really well. The busy mom who's acquired through paid search is not converting as well as organic search. And this is lowering our return on investment for our paid Google ads, so it's not very good. So we have to increase these numbers. And finally, the gift shoppers acquired through paid social is doing a little bit better than the organic social, but it's still not very good. And we have to increase numbers like this to at least come close to the organic conversion rate we're getting. As we know, we can get as much as a 3.5% conversion rate. And obviously you could go way higher than that, but it's just an example. And the solutions for how to tackle each of them is different. You need to understand the user. So again, we're going to just focus on a college student who buys trendy bottles. Firstly, you can introduce a college discount. This will lower your margin, but that's fine. And it's fixed up by the increase in the conversion rate. As obviously, college students are a lot more price sensitive than employed dad. He's going to have disposable income. He can afford a really sturdy advanced thermos that's like $80. Okay, he's fine with that. But the college student, not so much. You're going to have to drop the price for them or give them some mechanic to lower the price as they're more price sensitive. And another thing is to change the product images from professional photos to user generated content looking images like that. So it's just someone holding a mug. They're just more responsive to that. And what you get is a higher conversion rate. That's the mentality you need to have to optimize the conversions on your site and get better and better numbers and make more and more money from the exact same amount of traffic. Another word of wisdom is that websites don't need to be pretty to sell. There's an infamously poor looking website called Blinky, and they netted 6.5 million in revenue. So here's a picture of the kind of main site and then the product pages. It doesn't look very good. It doesn't look terrible anymore either. but they have much higher revenue than similar companies with better websites. Well, how does this website sell anything? It's not for consumers, it's for retailers and bulk purchasers. And this website is just fine for what this company is doing. They probably have relations with specific purchasers and suppliers and all that, and it's just fine for them. Obviously, it could be a little bit better, but if it works, it works. And I see like websites which have spent a ton of money on development to make it like the prettiest looking startup landing page in known history, but it converts worse than something I could make in 45 minutes in Lead Pages or Wix or whatever. So what are the steps you take to make this work from the ground up? Well, first you need to understand the need of the business. A lot of the time, a new website is just not necessary. So you need to consider other things like changes to the existing website, or maybe not even any changes, just a landing page for paid traffic, as paid traffic is the thing that you want to optimize the most, as you're actively paying money for each click. And to understand your need, you need to know the goals. You need to ask yourself these questions. What are the goals? Is it to get more leads? Is it to get more sales of a specific type of product? Getting more sales is not a goal. You need to have a number in mind at least. And there's more specific questions you can ask yourself, like, is there a traffic source that's not converting? And could paid campaigns be performing better? The next step is to make an outline. Outline what needs to be created, changed to achieve the goal. Look at competitors. Competitors are so good. They could be not even in your industry. They could be in a different industry or a different country or a different market, and it's still fine if they're having the same user questions and design as you. So it's fine to look beyond your market and direct competitors into other fields. Because if something is working for them, it's likely to work for you. And the next step is to build it, don't overthink it. You need to jump into it and start working on the website without worrying about making a full plan or anything like that. The entire outline should take no longer than a week of time. And you just need to go into it and start building it. Because the point is to monitor and iterate on the website. You're never going to get a home run on the first go. If we go back to here, this table for the water filter store was not an idea that they came up with immediately. It was a bunch of ideas, a bunch of tests, and high value ideas like this don't come around on the first pass. You need to constantly iterate on your design. And let me tell you that this table was worth every penny. All the money spent on monitoring and iterating and developing this stuff until this idea came along and was fleshed out was worth it, as this table massively increases the amount of people who actually end up buying. And a critical aspect of getting it right is talking to customers and talking to people who talk to customers. So talk to your customers, ask them who are they and what are they looking for. And I mean ask them by physically calling them and just having a chat. It's not going to hurt you to offer a $20 Amazon gift card for a quick phone conversation with them, just about their experience, the vibes they got, and who they are. And also talk to sales and customer service. So talk to people who talk to customers. What issues are they encountering? And a lot of the time, for me anyway, most of the best ideas come from customers. Not because they have an idea, but because they have questions. So talking to sales or customer service reps that engage with customers and know what questions they're asking is worth their weight in gold, as you can answer those questions on the website and increase your conversion rate, get less customer service tickets, and streamline inbound sales. So what are the outcomes when you go through and do all of this properly? Well, you massively increase your conversion rate. More people are making a purchase, you're getting higher rankings on Google and Bing, and you're getting better return on ad spend, so you can grow your business even faster. Ultimately, a great website is a journey. You need to switch the framing that you have in your head for your website. It's never a said and done. So it's not like a lot of companies think it is, where you just pay a development studio to make one website and you roll with that website for the next 5 years. It's never said and done. Your customers change, trends change, products change, the market changes, and your website needs to accommodate to get and maintain high conversion rates. If we got an 8% conversion rate on our website and never touched it again for 5 years, do you think that would stay at 8%? Probably not. It's going to drop back down to 3 or 4. And remember this, the user is king. So I hope you learned something about how website design is actually done in a way that generates more revenue, and that this was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to arrange a chat with me anytime on LinkedIn or on my email, anything like that. And I have a bunch of other similar videos that are going to help you make your website sell. So check those out.